Oh crap, sorry, you snitch. I'm going too fast. I always forget there's a cop station around here. So a police station. Oh, it's right there actually. Yeah. I was speeding right in front of it. What's up, Riveter Nation? It's Halo the Riveter coming at you this beautiful morning. Man, I just want to take you guys on a little tour today. There's two extremes that I kind of found on some back roads that I've been trying out, some new back roads. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Halo the Riveter. I usually make I make motorcycle content geared towards new riders from a new rider perspective, since I just started my motorcycle riding journey not too long ago, a few months ago. Alright guys, so you guys know me, I like to stay on the back roads and the empty roads, so I started doing a little bit of touring around, and I found two extremes like I'm going to take you on. So the first extreme is industrial America, and then I'm going to take you straight from industrial America to small town America. Should be pretty interesting. So my regular job, I work in the medical field, and so I run into all kinds of people, and recently I ran into this one man that he works in the Port of Houston, and so his job is mainly at the Port of Houston is receiving ships and cargo, and bringing it and then sending out ships and cargo. So what he was explaining to me before Corona, he was saying that before Corona or COVID hit, is that their average, they would be seeing about 80 ships, coming and going a day in the Port of Houston. He said that the Port of Houston is actually the third largest port in the US of A and the first largest in the Gulf of Mexico, which is pretty significant, So 80 ships a day. He said when Corona happened that they kind of cut it down to about 40 ships a day, so about half of what they were seeing coming and going. And when you think about it, he was talking to me about this mass quantities of things that they bring in to the Port of Houston. And that's why I love, I just love talking to people and getting their perspective on this world, and their experiences and what they do, because you should always want to learn more about the environment around you, about the people around you. It'll help you be a better person in general. It'll also help you relate to more people, be a little bit more diverse, and understand a lot more of where people are coming from. So I kind of I had the time to sit down and talk to him, kind of ask him hey, can you explain this to me? So he was just explaining to me the ins and the outs of the Port of Houston, and what they do. He was saying that prior to COVID, like I said, 80 ships, they cut down to 40 ships, and he said it takes about the whole trek from Korea or wherever else they're coming from to the Port of Houston is about 45 days. So 45 days to come. So he said the hard part was not, hey, cutting them off. He said, hey, you guys cannot come into the U.S. due to, COVID concerns. The hard part is once they said, okay, you guys can start coming back, it's going to, take 45 days from that point to actually start receiving, all kinds of things back into the Port of Houston, which he said, is going to be a process. And it's just crazy to think about, he was telling us the mass quantities and amounts of things that actually come in and leave. He was saying that what comes in is tons of stuff, cars, toys, just all kinds of everything. And then for the most part, what goes out is we have a lot of refineries, in the Pasadena area, the LaPorte area, the Deer Park area, a lot of refineries. And what they're sending out is a lot of finishing product, petroleum, all kinds of things to finish, an actual product, whether it's in Korea, China, wherever they're manufacturing all kinds of little knickknacks and such. So I want to kind of take you guys down to the refineries or around some refineries. Now, I'm not guaranteeing you this is where they're producing petroleum and all kinds of randomness, but I just wanted to show you guys, because I know whenever I watch YouTube videos and I see other people and this is their little scenic route and what they have going on, whether it's really beautiful nature or, you know, just randomness, it's awesome. So oh my gosh, I saw my turn signal on like a noob. So I would like to, you know, kind of share a little piece of my world, because I like seeing your guys' world, even though you guys see it all the time and it seems like nothing. You know, it's something to me. I'm like, oh man, like we don't have that over here. So maybe, just maybe, this video will find a few people that don't have, you know, random refineries just planted around their city. And then, you know, I've never lived in a small town. I've lived in Texas my whole life. I lived in a smaller city of El Paso, and then we moved over to Houston when I was still a young child. So I call Houston my home. And then I kind of just, you know, moved out to the outskirts of Houston, you know, as I got older and had control of my life decisions. But for the most part, you know, I love the essence of a small town. And, you know, whenever I first started writing, I would always tell myself, man, I wish like I was in a smaller town, you know, just to be able to have no pressure and, you know, go riding about. And then I started watching some videos. Riding with Udi, I'm going to call you out for this one. You know, he lives in PA and their speed limits are like 35 miles an hour. I'm like, oh, heck no, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. Maybe when I was a new rider and I was, you know, getting my confidence and my skills together, yeah, that'd be perfect. But I mean, see, look, 50 miles an hour. I like going 50 an hour, you know, and look, I'm right on. I'm doing 50. Normally, I'm under speed with Onyx, which is my Street 500. And then when I'm riding my truck, Ruby, she's a F-150, I'm always going over the speed limit. So, you know, it's called balance, people. So here's a little bit of the refineries. Like I said, I don't know. I should have maybe done some research for you guys to, you know, not tell you any stories and not lie to you. I don't know what they are manufacturing in these refineries. All I know is that they're here, and sometimes they, you know, send some weird smells across the city. And usually there's a lot of, you know, fire and smoke coming from them. I know the environmentalists hate that, but I'm sorry, you know. Everybody needs a livelihood somewhere. Doing something. But yeah, for the most part, like in El Paso, I don't remember these big old, you know, buildings. They're beautiful in their own right, you know. They just look very industrial, pretty cool. When they do catch on fire, though, it's not fun. I think it was earlier. Excuse me. I think it was early this year or late last year. I believe it was late last year. One of our refineries actually close to us kind of blew and was on fire for a while, you know, just nothing but billows and billows of black smoke coming out. So I know that's not great for the environment. It's not great for the workers either, you know, and the rest of us breathing in who knows what. They won't tell us that, though. That's the beauty of it. All right, so like I said, it's two very drastic extremes. So you had industrial Houston right over here, even though technically, you guys, this is not Houston right here. But I'm just gonna call it that because it's the bigger city name that people will kind of reference back to. It's right outside of Houston, though. There's a lot of refineries, a lot of cool stuff, cool looking stuff. I'm just saying, it looks like, you know, if the zombie apocalypse comes, ever actually comes, we have a lot of places to come, you know, seek refuge and shelter. There's fences and all kinds of good stuff, you know, heavy machinery. And, you know, technically, if you were wanting to, you know, ride a motorcycle, one of the great reasons that you can ride a motorcycle is, I mean, you don't know, post-apocalypse, you don't know, you know, what vehicle is going to be handy to you. So, I mean, if you get a car, great. Get a truck, great. If you get a bike, at least you know how to ride one, you know. Either that or you have a really fast crash course with a bunch of zombies coming against you. But yeah, look at that. Like, there's like little random torches everywhere. I'm not sure if I'm getting that for you guys. A lot of people come down here because it's a back road, and, you know, there's not a lot of traffic coming down here. It's great, especially earlier morning. You know, this is the time that I choose to ride, just to get away from cars and vehicles. Whenever I picked up riding, I never said, hey, this is going to be my primary source of commuting. However, you know, after I gave myself that beginner period, and I'm still very much in my beginner period, I'll never say, oh my gosh, like I'm a full-on rider. Yes, I ride. Yes, I've come a long way compared to how it was when I first started learning how to ride. But, you know, it's always a constant give and take. You always have to learn more and more and more, never never think you are 100% there. You've never arrived, you know, you've never really arrived. You always learn new things, and that's the beauty of it. Always evolve. Where was I going with that? I don't know. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so whenever I, you know, was a newer rider, I'm still a very new rider. Still a green grasshopper. Boy, I would ride early in the morning when there's not a lot of people here, because I don't, you know, I get nervous as a new rider. You don't want to spaz out and cause an accident, be a danger to yourself or the people around you. But so I would come out super early, sometimes even before the sun came out, you know, just to have a chance to be on the actual road with stop signs and street lights, you know, because I needed that experience. I just didn't want the experience with the cars and trucks. So now, you know, as I've gotten progressively better, a little bit better, I choose to come out a little bit later and discover, like, it's more of just a discovering thing. And I'm just going to tell you guys, like, I have completely become addicted to riding. It is ridiculous how many times a day I catch myself like, oh my gosh, oh, why am I turning here? I'm such a dork. You know, how many times a day I catch myself wanting to ride. I don't want to turn here. I'm so dorky. So yeah, how many times a day I think about riding. Goodness. I know, it's illegal. So yeah, learning how to ride has opened up a lot of doors to just, you know, normally whenever I was in my truck or whatever, I always had a purpose, a plan of where I was going, why I was going there, how long I was supposed to be there. You know, it was very methodical and calculated, and I hated being lost. I always had my GPS up, you know. With riding a motorcycle, it's a sense of freedom of just going out and discovering new places. That's what I do. I go on little back roads. I don't know where the heck I'm going, you know. When I first bought a bike, I was instantaneously researching phone mounts because of my GPS. And if you go back to my first videos, I always had my phone mounted. I wasn't using it, but I always had it mounted, you know, just a little security blanket, because that's how I was. I never wanted to not know where I was going. You know, it's like Toy Story. I never wanted to be the lost toy. That it's just one of my fears of, you know, not knowing where I'm at. And with the motorcycle, you know, I kind of drive around in my truck first, kind of get a feel for what things are, and then on my bike, when I come out here, I'm like, okay, I know that these are more of the main roads, and then I'll just kind of veer off a little bit on my own and go down, you know, the little roads that I don't go down in my truck, and discover a ton of new stuff, you know, like little parks and all kinds of stuff. It's just the freedom that I have gotten because of riding a bike has been truly amazing, and I'm like truly addicted to riding. Those of you guys who have a motorcycle and just, you know, go out and ride, I know you know what I'm talking about. I know you know the feeling of just getting out and getting away from everything, you know, the everyday, the mundane, the monotony of life, you know, just getting out and venturing for yourself. It's a great feel to, you know, have the freedom to do it. And you know, honestly, with a motorcycle, you're not expending a ton of gas at all. And when you are filling up on gas, I mean, it's like premium gas is, well, in Texas, it's kind of cheap right now since COVID. I think we're like averaging where I stay at about 160, 170 currently. Prior to COVID, I mean, we were at like $2 or $3. Oh, crap. Sorry, you snitch. I'm going too fast. I always forget. There's a cop station around here, so... A police station. Oh, it's right there, actually. Yeah. I was speeding right in front of it. Oh, the infamous bridge, even though this is one street over. Those of you guys who watch my New Rider Fears video, this is, so the one that I go on is usually over there. But this is the infamous bridge that I was so afraid to ride on. Boy, I mean, now just like, oh, it's a bridge, that's great. My next bridge is actually going to a real beach or a real boardwalk, and it's really steep. The steepness on that bridge is ridiculous. I'm like, okay, maybe I want to ride, just, you know, to take the bike down there, because parking is always a hassle with the truck. But then I'm like, that bridge though, and then for the most part there's a ton of traffic on it, so I don't want to be, you know, I'm riding in Texas that is not hilly. I'm not used to the steep incline and stopping and going on an incline, so if there's traffic, I'm out of luck. I'm gonna veer Onyx right around and be like, nope, sorry, maybe next time. Because I am not one to just be like, oh yeah, sure, let's do this. No, I'm one of those people that's like super analytical to a fault. I want to know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, when I'm doing it, how I'm supposed to do it. Like it's just ridiculous. But it can be helpful to you to be that kind of person when you're riding a bike, because you don't want to, you know, when you first get a bike, just be like, okay, I'm great, like I'm just gonna go. No, you have to be very, very careful, especially when you're riding with all these, you know, great people on the road who, first of all, don't see you, or like don't have the ability to see you because they're not used to motorcycles on the road, or they're just distracted and texting and not, you know, paying attention. All right, guys, so we went from industrial Houston to small town USA over here. It's like really cute. Let me get you guys some little buildings and stuffs. I know, I promised you greatness. We're getting there, I promise. Oh man. But yeah, riding a bike is, once you get over that hump of your nervousness, and it's great to be nervous because you want to have that respect for the road, respect for the bike, respect for your fellow you know, people on the road. You want to have that respect for them, but you also want to be like, this is great, let me just go ride. And once you get over that initial fear, like, see this dude, I don't even know what he's doing. He's at a red light. See, this is like small town USA that has kind of been halfway abandoned. But it's great. Look at these little buildings here. And I mean, some of them are gone, some of them are real cute. Oh, this right here, good. I'm so glad I stopped in front. Look, this is so cute, like a home decor place. People think I'm an idiot, I'm sure. Look, it's so gorgeous. Like, I'm not used to small town buildings like this, because I never, you know, whenever I would ride from, we have family in, you know, El Paso, so we'd ride from Houston to El Paso, you know, we would go through little towns, but like these little, like this little saloon here, and like this little whimsy home decor place, and that antique shop, like I love the aesthetic of those small buildings. It's so gorgeous, like it's so cute, and I'm not used to it. So whenever I came through here the first time, I was like, oh man, that's so awesome, that's ridiculously awesome. And it's just cool, you know, to just stop and appreciate, get out of your everyday and just appreciate things around you. And I just think I don't have that freedom, you know, riding around in a car or cage, whatever you want to call it. There's this little cute place right here. I think it was like, it's like their little town square, and at night they have it lit up really cool. It kind of looks like a drive-in theater. It's not, but it looks like it. So I'll have to bring you guys in one night, just to see when it's lit and it's all its glory. Take a few pictures of Onyx. But yeah, I mean, so there you go, two very different extremes. My name is Halo the Riveter. I know this wasn't like super informative, I was just rambling on. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you like me, subscribe. It really helps the channel out. If you want to know whenever I'm posting future videos, future uploads, hit that bell icon and alert you. For now, ride safe, rubber side down, and always forward motion. I always harp on this, always forward motion, whether it's in your motorcycle riding or your everyday life. Give yourself little goals that'll eventually be big goals that you will always become victorious in, as long as you stay consistent with them and obtaining them. So thank you so much. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate your support. I hope you have a fantabulous rest of the day, rest of the week, rest of the weekend, wherever this video catches you. For now, see you next time. Peace.